Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, June 30th, and I thank you for joining into our weekly PPACA webinars. We do have a bit on the agenda today to talk about. May have some extra questions today, so again, if you need to ask a question, you can just put your little hand icon up and I will unmute you, or you can type it into the question box and we'll answer those at the end of the webinar. So, you know, we're getting into summer and getting into a lot of planning for open enrollment and, of course, the group for the 12-111 renewals. But there's still a lot going on and still a lot of daily business to conduct. First and foremost, the first bullet point, Cap Blue Cross July billing delay. Something happened at Capital on the individual side. The bills went out late. They actually just went out Monday. There is an extension on those bills for the due date. They have to be paid by the 19th of July. Your clients can still just pay the check. If they know the premium, they can still pay their premium prior to that, even if they don't have the billing memo. They just need to put their ID number in the memo section of their check. Or they can call in to make a payment over the phone, and that number is in the PowerPoint, 877-889-7282. If you need that after the webinar, just let me know, and I'm happy to supply that for you. One of my agent partners asked me yesterday, and just with a show of hands, she's just kind of asking for some insight. The question she has is, have any of the self-funded clients ever been audited by the IRS for non-discrimination testing? And what she's looking for is how common that non-discrimination testing is from the IRS audits and what the risks are. So I don't know if anyone with a show of hands can address that, if you're willing to chat with her or make comments on the audit for non-discrimination testing. Doesn't look like there are any hands up. If you want to reach out after the webinar, if you do have some experience with that, I'd really appreciate that. She's just looking for some insight, and of course anything that we can do to get answers or questions answered and learn something is always a positive for all of us. So again, if you have any insight on self-funded IRS non-discrimination testing, easy for me to say, then just let me know. So CMS webinars. There was one yesterday on the SEP process. I was out of the office. Judy Reed, your individual health specialist, did sit in, and it's pretty much what everyone knows. There are certain things, certain qualifying events in which the FFM, the marketplace, is going to ask for proof of the qualifying event. They have 30 days from their application to submit that. They can either send it in to the London, Kentucky address, and of course on each page they should put their name, social, FFM application ID, address, date of birth. They can do that, and hopefully it will arrive. Or they can also upload into healthcare.gov the required documentation. But again, they have 30 days to provide that proof. If that proof is not provided, then they are not going to issue the policy during this special election period. Also, July, they have some webinars, and in my newsletter today, some of you probably have already received it in your inbox. Under the product information, there are Highmark updates, and the Highmark updates are for Highmark East, which is formerly BC NEPA, Highmark Central, and Highmark Western, and they do have a link to the CMS webinars. I am sitting in on the July 13th webinar, and there are two segments of webinars. One is for those agents that have not already certified on the individual side or for SHOP ever. And the other is for returning certification, just kind of given the lay of the land. I don't expect that the big change in training last year is going to take on any additional training. I've heard that it's going to be less time, but who knows. But again, I would get into my newsletter under product information, look at the Highmark updates, and if you have an interest in how to certify, then I would register for one of those webinars. Aetna, next bullet point. Aetna just sent out a blast basically saying that they are starting a new campaign launching in July. They're going to start contacting small and mid-sized employers between 51 and 3,000 lives in Pennsylvania each month. They're going to be sharing articles and insights to help them stay informed of the latest healthcare trends, news, and they're also going to be showing the group clients how Aetna can help them grow their productivity one employee at a time. They're going to, again, start in July and continue throughout 2016. They're different segments, Western, Central, and Southeast. They'll have 3 different landing pages and campaigns. You know, obviously, for anyone out there that is writing employer groups, this is not necessarily good news if you are not in touch constantly with your Aetna group clients, because obviously, you know, Aetna is going to be communicating directly with your groups and giving them insight, etc. So if you do have any Aetna groups or former Health America groups, I would reach out to them. Just let them know the mailing is coming so that you're there. They see you on the front lines and you don't inadvertently leave your client to go direct to Aetna. So hopefully you understand exactly what I'm saying. Just reach out to your Aetna and Health America group clients that fall into those segments, give them a heads up, and let them know, obviously, that you're available to assist them, that they don't have to go direct to Aetna for their service issues or questions. Get yourself involved, right? I did do a little segment last week on, oh, I'm sorry, just one more thing on CMS. They are closing the MLMS system, which is the testing system. They're closing that on July 15th. So I don't know if any of you out there have not yet done your certification for 16, but they're saying that you have to do that before July 1st. You have to print your 2016 FFM certificate by tomorrow, and then it will be back up and running July 15th. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Registration and training for agents and brokers will close on the Marketplace Learning Network on July 15th. So, again, that's for 2016, which they did this last year. They're just really getting us all ready for the 17 testing. Sorry for the confusion. So, to my bullet point, it's summer, let's get ready. I did talk about this last week, but I think it's important enough to share again this week. Just in this downtime, things that we can all do ready for open enrollment and the 12-111 group renewals. On the individual side, I suggest getting your client list together, and I would even further divide it between your client list that can be emailed, that you don't have an email address for or phone number, you need to mail them through the United States Postal Service, or those that you can call. So that's important. Get your lists ready. Get your contacts ready. I would also have you double check your logins. More specifically, the portal.cms.gov login. Check it now. Otherwise, when the testing is released, it's going to be very frustrating trying to get that password reset. Also, for any carrier sites, you're going to want to double check your logins to make sure they work. And for your clients, when you're reaching out to them to help them get prepared, make sure that if they have a healthcare.gov login, that they double check that, and if it's not working, they have time to reset it so it's not, you know, again, just in the midst of chaos trying to get these passwords reset. Also, when you're looking at your client list, do you have any that are turning 65? If you do Medicare, that's certainly an important segment that and details that you want to make note of. If you don't do Medicare and want to, certification has started for 2017. And if you don't want to certify and just don't want to do it, we do have a referral program as well that you can still service your clients and get them into the Medicare coverage and get a referral fee to boot. So again, look for those 65s or those turning 65s. And then I also say that your clients have some work to do too. Again, I mentioned they need to, if they are on the marketplace, double check their logins for healthcare.gov, get their doctors lists together. Not doctors they haven't seen for 10 years and just absolutely can't do without, but doctors that they, and providers, hospitals, et cetera, that they know they're going to use, because 2017, whether you're talking group or individual, there will be narrow networks, and it's going to be even more important to make sure that your clients know who those providers are, and certainly if you're selling them, to double check that their providers are in these much more narrow networks. Also, income. Start having them think about what their estimated income might be for 2017, or if they're going to have any life events in 2017. One life event, of course, is the AMS United Healthcare terminations as of 6/14 of 17. So that's a life event if they don't go through open enrollment on a normal time, then they do have a qualifying event in June of 17. Also, are they planning on a marriage in 2017 or having a child? These are all qualifying events and things that they should be mindful of when they're planning ahead for 17. On to the group side, the right hand of the screen, the Like It, Keep It, the grandmothered programs. Capital is, of course, we announced for 6/1 effective dates and beyond. Capital for their grandmothered non-PPACA plans are not offering them another grandmother provision. They have to go to a PPACA plan. So again, if you have those grandmothered capital plans and you want us to quote them and see what's out there, let us know. Highmark, of course, is going to offer early renewal options, and that's going to be for 7/1 to 11/1 of 16 renewal dates. Anyone that renews within those months will be given an option to have a short plan year and renew for 12/1 so that they can keep their grandmothered plan as far out into 17 as possible. For Highmark, that would mean 12/1 of 17. The law was just changed a few months ago to allow that extension to 12/31 of 17, but we've not heard a whole lot about how that will extend. So again, good opportunity on the group side to reach out to those grandmother clients, Capital to requote them, and Highmark to let them know what to expect. And typically, it's always beneficial to keep a group in a grandmothered plan, and we're at the end of the road here, so if you've hung on this long, it's probably in their best interest to hang on until they're told they can no longer have those grandmothered plans. Another question to ask is, and you of course may already know this, but do they have any employee benefits in place? With the higher deductibles and some of these programs coming in higher out of pockets, it's really a great time to look at offering employee benefits programs, ancillary or worksite programs to round out those benefits. And again, it doesn't have to cost the employer anything. They can actually offer them as voluntary, and if they're pre-tax, then of course that saves the taxable the taxable income for the employee and the payroll taxes for the employer. So again, not a bad idea to look at those employee benefits. Also, do they need summary of plan documents or POP documents? That's something that we do offer complimentary. And of course, with the ERISA fines being $110 per day per employee per health and welfare benefit, it's pretty important, I would say, to at least add to your question whether they have summary of plan documents or a POP document in place. Again, that's something we can help you with, and that's complimentary to you as our agent partners. And also, can they use an enrollment platform? We've seen a lot of groups and had a lot of agent feedback that a lot of groups are looking for an enrollment or a marketplace type enrollment platform. So that is available to you as well if you do business with us. So I just want you to be mindful of that and see if that is something that's going to make or break your relationship with your group, because if they need it, we have it, therefore you have it. Let's see what else I have. I think that's it on the Benefits Connect System Enrollment Platform. And that is it for our agenda. That brings us up to the open forum. I do see that we have some questions. So if you have any additional questions to add, go ahead and type those in. As a reminder, next webinar is Thursday, July 7th, which means that this is the last day of June, and I cannot believe that. Okay, so lots of questions today. Dave Highland says, are the CMS webinars mandatory? They are not. They're not. Nancy says, is this only to current groups, or is Aetna prospecting any employer groups? It says it's current groups, the 51 to 3,000, Nancy, for Aetna and Health America. Jim says, will Coventry Health America exist for 2017? Will Aetna be all inclusive to all clients? We've heard that the only product, the individual product that will be offered in 17 will be Aetna LEAP programs. It's not going to be on Coventry paperwork in Pennsylvania. And of course, the groups have already transitioned from Health America to Aetna groups. So to answer your question, in Pennsylvania, Coventry Health America will not exist. They will take the form of Aetna. Bill says, I have assisted 2 consumers, not my clients, in the past couple weeks to address verification issues with their marketplace enrollment. From this service, I now have 3 commitments for Medicare enrollment assistance in the next several months and several referrals. Oh, that's awesome, Bill. So, you know, I guess Bill's point is if you are still doing it, there is an opportunity certainly in the Medicare segment. And, you know, sometimes pro bono means that you just have to wait for payment, I guess, when you sell them a Medicare program or you sell them a program in 17. Dave asks if we can speak about the Benefits Connect program. Absolutely. Sam Bohr is actually the project manager on the Benefits Connect program. It is an enrollment platform where your clients have an actual shopping experience. They can choose their health plan, and the bucket of money spends down. It's very intuitive. They can purchase dental, ancillary benefits, etc. It also incorporates payroll if that is something that your employees, your employer groups have a need for. It monitors measurement periods for the 50-plus crowd. It also spits out 1094s, 1095s. It does not file them, but it does spit them out. So again, it's pretty robust. Sam is planning a webinar for the Benefits Connect system. I will get you those dates so that you can join in. I do think if you are in the group market, it's certainly something that you'll want to sit in on and just learn about. Brandy says, will Aetna be on the quoting system for individual? It will, Brandy, and the reason they're not on there now is because as of January 31st, Aetna reached out. They have a relationship with Health Connect/EBIX, and they reached out and said, take their plans off of the quoting portal. So, you know, this is what we're faced with. You know, that they don't want the business, and they took it off as soon as open enrollment was done. So, yes, they should be on the quoting portal for individual, as long as they allow us to have it there. Jeff says, in your opinion, do you see the Aetna mailing as a play by them to cut out the broker? Well, you know, I'm being recorded, but I would say reading between the lines is probably very important. You know, in all fairness, all carriers reach out to their clients. They're really trying to make sure that, you know, they know what's available, stay in front of the law, learn about wellness programs. I mean, wellness is the push of these carriers. But do I think that it would be very easy for a client to say, hey, Aetna's doing a really nice job contacting me? I'm going to call them and see what I can do and what my options are, and then they slip away from you? Yes. So hopefully that answers your question without getting me into too much trouble. Mario says, SPDs and RAP docs come at no cost if we are writing the group 3 URL. That's absolutely correct, Mario. Pam says, what is Aetna doing for Like It, Keep It? You know what, Pam, I will get back to you on that, because there was an article in last newsletter, and I cannot recall what they're doing. I do believe they're offering the Like It, Keep It, and I think they're going to 12/31. But I'll try to find that article and get that over to you, and I will also follow up next week on our webinar, just so everyone else knows as well. Of course, I knew it was your group, of course. That's it. That looks like all of the questions that we have for today. Thank you so much for all of the questions. They were great. And just a reminder, again, next Thursday the 7th, we'll have another webinar. As always, I truly appreciate you joining in and asking your questions. That's how we learn as well. And, you know, we are trying to support you as much as we can in all of these questions that you have on this crazy law that we're living in. I wish you all a great balance of the week, and certainly I wish you all a very, very happy holiday weekend and a great Independence Day. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.